Oh man, this feels like a long time coming, but it feels right.
Yeah,
it does feel right.
It does. We've respectively had enough conversation between the three of us.
Yeah,
that could fill a lot of reels.
That's true.
That's fact.
Yeah, your mic still sounds like
so good.
proper. Your mic still sounds proper.
You know what's crazy? Looking at the levels, mine is the highest, but I don't know how. That's the crazy part because we're all at the same level.
Yeah.
I turned all our channels up to 35.
But if I bring mine closer, it probably sounds better.
Yeah, yours go up past mine.
Yeah. Try yours.
Ooh.
If I say something, it doesn't sound any different.
It's because your voice is already deep.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we were talking off camera, and we were talking about like, just tired. Like, good Lord.
Yeah.
Today was such a day.
What'd you do?
The part that's funny is not even what I did. It's just the culmination of 2024. Holy crow. Just like it over and over. Eden had her dancing yesterday, photos. Just trying to get everything rolling for business and work.
Yeah.
And obviously, I could do better. I could get more sleep, but it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Just doesn't happen. Actually, that's a question. How are you managing with your shoot for work and like doing?
Bro, sleep is not even a thing for me right now.
Really? Really? Oh,
Bro,
man.
I sleep like 3 hours per day.
Golly.
Yeah.
But if you're doing your tick anyway, man.
I make sure everything's happening, but
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Do what you gotta do, and then you're good to go. Like, this is like, it's been a long day, but
That's the funny thing is I thought about that recently.
What's that?
Sleep.
Yeah.
And how much do I really need? Because before, like maybe it's age thing. People will say, "Yo, when you hit your 30s, things change and all that." And like, yeah, I get you. I get you. But it's like now, if I go over like 6. I'm way more tired.
You're more tired?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
I would love to get
yo,
more than
I
6.
actually seen something like that where like they were talking about like Nikola Tesla and like some certain other people.
Yeah.
That they only needed 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And like 6 hours of sleep was their like maximum. And after that it was like too much sleep. So,
yeah. I don't know. That's a different one for.
Yeah, I know.
That's different. I don't even know how to. 6 hours is decent, but there are times when you can just tell, like, yo, you're exhausted right now.
True.
You're exhausted, and you just want to keep sleeping, but,
Okay, so check this. So I find that if I sleep a solid, like, let's say, like, I get 1 day of good sleep or 2 days of good sleep.
And what's that look like for hours?
I would say, like, maybe, like, 8 solid or 9, anywhere from 8 to 12 solid.
Over that 1 day.
Over that 1 day or a couple of days. Like, even if it's, like, 2, 3 days of a solid 8-hour sleep.
Yeah.
For the next, like, month and a half, I'm, like, okay with just getting 4 hours.
I feel like that, like, to your point, Russ, like, when you're getting older now, it's like them things catch up on you.
True.
Quick.
True.
Catch up on you quick.
Granted, I'm only 32.
So
it's like...
I was 32 at one point, and I thought I was invincible. And now I'm one of those things. I'm not old.
Yeah.
I'm not old, but it's like, just even, the healing factor.
Yeah.
Bro, I bruised my leg the other day. It's been a minute, and it still hurts. And I'm like, yo, why is this hurting like this?
So that stuff happens in degrees, though. Like, because I feel some of that stuff, too.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, for example, like a hangover right now, in my 30, I'm 32, I'm still, it's hectic.
I could imagine.
But
that's why I don't do hangovers. I don't do hangovers, man.
I'm on the same boat.
I don't do hangovers. I can't manage a hangover right now. I can't manage, like...
Bro, it's tough.
Listen,
it's tough.
It's been a busy, like, weekend so far, Friday, Saturday. I'm telling you right now, tomorrow, I am passing, like, I ain't waking up. My body's like, yo, it's time to wake up. Because...
Do the kids wake you up, though?
They do. They do, but I just say, Daddy needs to sleep, and they get it. Yeah. Especially if I'm like, yo, go watch some TV or something, or whatever. But everything's situational, right? Because even us coming here together right now, this is blessed. Like we've had this conversation, we've put it all together. Respect to you, Ras. Respect to you, Daniel.
Facts.
Like we got this. We're here right now. It's so funny because like there's so much topics that like run through my head.
Yeah.
As far as like conversation, but I realize that in these situations, just like just being here is like almost like enough to a degree. Almost to a degree. It's like we really
did this.
We
pulled
it
off.
That's the
crazy part.
Like we're here. Like we sound good. Like
Mr.
Calling on some VJ stuff. Mr. Calling on some VJ stuff.
I'm telling you, bro.
Feeling it like
93.7.
Yo, trust me.
Lovers and other strangers.
Yo. Wine and dates. Wine and dates. Yo. Trust me.
Don't leave me hanging.
Sorry, I apologize. My eyes were closed. So like,
oh man,
for even us coming up here, setting this up, it was a seed that we all kind of, that was sparked. Funny enough, back here, I guess a year plus ago.
Yeah, it's the same spot.
It was the same spot a year plus ago. Obviously, the weather was a little bit colder.
Yeah.
But we all came together and like shared our points, especially as men, as dads.
Yeah.
And it really showcases us coming this all together.
Yeah.
And having a purpose.
Right.
So that we can, talk about stuff and basically have dads unscripted.
Right.
Because there's stuff that's going on right now as far as, just whether it be with your household, your kids coming to you with stuff. And I'm not saying this is a place to vent or nothing, because let's be honest, I think we have a pretty decent, for the stories or feedback that I've gotten from other men, it puts things in very clear perspective.
Right.
For me, as far as like, okay, wow, I actually, all right, I'm blessed. I'm not gonna I don't want to use, is that a word? Over complain? Is that a word? Let's pin it. Maybe it is. Over complain as far as like, this, that, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. I apologize in advance. I'm a little under the weather.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
You sound good.
I still wanted to make this happen.
Yeah.
I want to make this happen because there's a lot to be said as far as like what we're all, trying to accomplish. Because I said this to you guys off camera. Like this is a opportunity for us to, speak our mind, ultimately add value, funny enough, to our kids.
Yeah.
Because the part that's funny, and we can all probably relate to this. Good Lord, our kids don't listen to us as much as they should. But you know what's messed up is that at one point we were there.
Yeah. We were them.
Yo,
we were them.
Not listening to my mom.
Yeah.
Not listening to my old man, and was like, yo, this and that, and. Is it not the most funniest thing when you end up sounding like your parents? Like, do you catch yourself sometimes? You're like, oh,
so you wanna know what the funny thing is? Okay, so I was kind of like, I was thinking about that, and I was like, that applies to everything in life, obviously, right? But like, given that perspective of like, man, I sound like my parents now because I knew at that point in time I was this way, like. Everybody has that perspective in every aspect of life. So, like, even if you're a manager at your job or whatever, at some point you didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah, no clue.
Right?
True.
So, like, even in your relationship, there might have been, a female, or for the women, a male that you were with,
right?
That like treated you well, and you didn't treat him well.
Yeah.
And then because you weren't ready yet. And then
you lost out.
Exactly, you lost out. But now you're with somebody who you're treating well.
Yeah.
And they're not treating you well.
They're not treating you well. It's a vicious cycle.
It's a you know what I'm saying?
Vicious cycle, man.
But it just, you kind of like chalk it up to being like, yo, they don't understand yet.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you go to, I'll take your emotions out of it.
Yeah.
And I kind of look at it from a perspective of they don't really understand. They don't get it yet.
They don't understand themselves. I call it unpacking. Like I've had this conversation with other individuals and they chalk it up to basically saying unpacking. Like this person hasn't unpacked themselves yet to become the best version of themselves.
Right.
Because that's a legit thing when it comes to, like, okay, I want to be the best father. I want to be the best man. I want to be the best fill in the blank, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of unpacking that has to go into that, especially if, you know, you might not have gone through tremendous amounts of trauma, because we all went through our respective traumas. Let's be honest. We're all Jamaican. We all got our asses whooped at one point. We all got something.
We all saw things that we shouldn't have seen at a certain age.
Let actually pinpoint right now. Not to sound anyway, but I'm very thankful I grew up in the time that I grew up in.
Yeah.
True.
Boy,
True.
things that I pulled or tried to pull sometimes, with the amount of cameras that are around right now, especially at home or in the schools or whatever.
Right.
Yo.
Right.
Jeez Louise.
Right. I don't, and that's the other part too, in looking at how we grew up, the time period we grew up in. Maybe we look at, I don't know, maybe it's me or maybe the other people I'm hanging around with, when you look at young people or younger folks doing things and you're like, man, they're so brazen. And I was like, we did that too.
Worse. Yeah.
But there wasn't
we just didn't get caught
filming
there was no camera
act when the time period that we were doing it, because we knew
you don't
we want to leave no trail whatsoever in anything that we're doing. So it's just a different flip. Like, they're okay with it.
They're okay with
it. We
were
like, okay, let's check.
I ain't trying to
all
get
right,
no catch up in
is so and so. Yo, is Marsh Jew or Miss Thing over here? So I we climb our fence, we got teeth, couple mango. All right, nobody not there. So all right, cool.
Quick.
But I'm not gonna film myself go jumping over the fence to go.
We had more sense than that. We're not. That's facts. That's basically saying, yo, I'm guilty and here's the evidence.
And here's the evidence.
I'm guilty.
Look at this.
Here's the evidence.
I just did this.
Put me in, like, do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, it's a different perspective, man.
There's also the side now, like, these kids, like, I'm trying to teach my kids to be tough.
Yeah.
Because, the world that we're growing up in right now, or they're growing up in, like, it's soft.
Yeah.
I was listening to a reel the other day, and the gentleman talked about, like, if you even have your kid just be even 25% tough or 25% determined, or use the word savage, which, I get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Just that mentality, like, you're going in for the kill kind of thing. Like, you're not letting nobody take advantage of you. You're doing what you need to do. And he's like, just on that alone, you're leaps and bounds ahead of what these kids nowadays, because, I don't know if you guys saw my post. Not a post, but, like, I saw a kid. It was bedtime. And the mom said, time to put down your tablets. Let's go to bed. And the kid slammed down on the couch and said, I'm not going to bed. I'm not going to bed. His sister is like, I'm 12 years old. You can't tell me what to do. Da, 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 da. Bro, it was a video, and my blood, I was like, oh, if I literally posted it, I pray my kids do this to me.
Yeah.
Because they will feel a level of, like, I don't want to use the word wrath, but we grew up with such a, like, if you dare say that to your parents.
Was there a man, like, in that video?
So there's the thing.
There was
just a mom saying it.
Right.
It's like, when they have other videos that showcase the dad. Kid is going up, acting up. The dad literally just walks into the room.
You ever see the prank one? See the prank one? They're like, shut up, mom. And then the dad comes in. Yeah, I see the man. He was wearing Spurs, bro. Man had his cowboy boots on. And his son or whatever said it. The man started running.
My youth.
Started running,
when
bro.
I tell you, there's certain pranks that you shouldn't pull on certain people. And they take that. Yeah. The thing, so not to be any particular way, but like, you realize it's all, like, it's not black. You don't see no black.
No, I see some black people.
You see some black people?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't see a lot of black people. I see more, like, I want to see the black ones, because I know them fathers would be, like, railing up.
I see, to be honest, I see a lot of the white fathers and the black fathers react the same way.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
Like, they're more so like, yo, don't disrespect.
Don't you dare.
Disrespect your mother.
Don't you dare.
My uncle, like our uncle, for the sake of the podcast, I won't name.
Yeah.
Right? But his grandson was disrespecting his grandmother. He came in and saw it, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, don't you ever talk to my wife like that,
Facts.
right?
Do you do that? Do you do that right now? Do you tell your kids don't talk to your wife like that?
Yeah.
Because I purposely say don't. I don't say talk to your mother like that.
Yeah.
I let them understand there's a distinction. She was my wife first.
And
then she became your mother.
Yeah.
So there's like, hey, there's a hierarchy.
Yeah. Fact.
If you dare step over it, like, yo, I don't like. Listen, I'm a loving father. I do my best to be the most loving father.
Yeah.
But I will not stand disrespect. I will not stand it.
For sure.
Yeah.
If they dare talk to their mom in any way, one time.
I think hold on. I think I'm capping. I think if I've done it, I've done it not as much as probably you done it.
Yeah, man, do it. Yo, listen,
do it more often,
if they go off and want to be talking a certain way, like come at them raging bull and say, don't you dare talk to my wife like that.
So I didn't have it. I didn't like, okay, so my kids are like, so I was telling Ross, I was like, yo, today we were putting them to sleep. That she's like, yo, go to bed. And he's like, my second oldest, like, nah, like, he's like, no, I don't want to go to bed.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Boy.
And I was like,
you better go.
Get upstairs now. Yeah. And I gave him the count, and he ran
upstairs.
He ran. He's okay. I'm going, right? And that's okay. So like, I bring it to the point of like, I guess like the reel that you watch and they talk about like Savage, I'm like, how many of those kids, like how many, like to be honest, like the nuclear family is destroyed.
Yeah, it's not.
It's gone, right? It's non-existent anymore. Like people are not like.
Or it's blended now. It's a blended nuclear family. It's not, hey, one mom, one dad. It's like, hey, I was here. I had this going on. All right, I'm coming over here. We're starting this over and doing it in that way, which is, it's still blessed. Like, you want people to find happiness, but man, I know a couple of people who are going through stuff right now behind that. It's not,
not,
what
bro.
you said it best. It's not an easy road. It's not an easy road.
Feels it, knows it, right?
Preach. I'm not about that.
Feels it, knows it, man.
But I was saying that. I do that because my oldest is girls, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to kick off with their mom. It's the funniest dynamic. Like 1 minute they're the best friends, and the next minute they kick off. And I definitely think that I'm a more patient parent.
Yeah.
Like I give them time. I let them, if I say this carefully, but I give them rope.
Yeah.
I give them rope. And if you don't do what you're supposed to do, then you're going to get that tug. And that tug is going to be really hard.
Yeah.
And then the consequence or the outcome is going to be like, I'm so sorry, Daddy. I wish I didn't do that. Like, you had your chance.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like they're still little kids. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's like, when we were younger, like we knew that, like
we knew the consequences.
We knew
of our
the
actions
consequences. We knew what was going on, and like as men, like we have to shoulder so much. Like, and you were saying this to me off camera. Like, we have to shoulder it and then not say nothing about it.
You can't complain, bro.
Can't complain. You can't be this. You can't be that. Actually, here's a weird question. What's your take on if you're going through something? And, there was a gentleman who spoke about, when you're going through stuff, don't bring that to your woman. Yeah. Like, you got to go to your guys. You got to go to, you got to have a group of guys that, like, listen, they're there to listen to you. Yeah. They're there to empathize. They're there to help support you. But don't you dare bring that to your woman. What do you think on that? Do you think that has validity? Or in my head, because the thought process is, like, I think it comes out to the woman.
Yeah, I personally think that if you're going to mention... go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think it definitely boils down to the woman.
It does boil down to the woman, but...
Because it could... In some experiences that I've had, sometimes being the vulnerable male turns out to be
backfire.
More like... Everything you say can and will be used against you in the court of this relationship. and that's where I feel like it depends on the woman in where she is in her self journey and maybe her healing journey of whether she's been
unpacking.
Going back to the unpacking. Because sometimes others don't see it as, this is my man coming to me with
Yeah.
a big issue that he
Right.
feels and he's letting it out. Instead, they then see it as ammo, which is,
Yeah.
I guess it's just them not knowing the experience of, hey, if he's being vulnerable with you, he's showing you that he trusts you.
That's a trust.
You know what I mean? But, and I saw that reel too, and I was like, man, that is true. Because at the end of the day, it all depends on what relationship or what space your relationship is at the moment. Because I feel like with us men, there is a safe space. Obviously, we have our jokes where we crack on each other.
Yeah.
But
That's standard.
okay, but like, okay, take it in.
Standard.
I think, all right, look at it like this. If you have a solid set of homeboys, right, and you're fucking up,
Keyword.
solid,
Keyword.
right? And you're fucking up, your homeboys are gonna tell you you're fucking
You
up,
messed up.
Yeah,
You
word,
messed up.
word.
You messed
right?
up.
Whereas if you tell your woman who's gonna step into your life as like in that matriarch role,
Yeah.
she's gonna more so coddle you,
Perhaps.
right?
That's what ladies do.
That's what they do.
They support each other.
Yeah,
They
they nurture, right?
No, it's okay.
Exactly.
You know,
So it's like
da-da-da-da.
a man who will go to his boys first, chances are by the time he tells his woman, he's already had a solution.
Yeah, yeah. Or executed it.
He's already
in
executed it.
process.
So, yeah,
yes,
process.
So he's already in a situation where he's like,
Yeah.
I'm telling her after the fact.
Yeah, yeah. Here's the breakdown. Here's what I was going
And
through.
you know her answer is always going to be like, well, you should have
You came
told
to
me
me.
while you were
Nah,
going
it's not the same, man.
da-da-da-da-da-da-da,
It's not the
right?
same.
And it's like, okay, if I told you and you were accepting, you would have coddled me, which is not what I needed.
Right.
And if I told you and I didn't have a plan and you weren't accepting, you would have castrated me for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You would have kind of been like, this guy not being manly, da 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 da. Either way, it would have, because if you coddled me enough, our relationship would have, if I had taken your word for it, I would have gotten comfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you had castrated me for it, even if your castration made me move, I would have resented you for it.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I feel like those are things that we don't speak on, like when it comes to like the whole speaking to your woman thing. I feel like like you have to talk to her. Yes, you need to speak to her, and she needs to understand you. But it's like,
You know what the challenge there is, though, D?
yeah,
Is the listening. Because you see, like, I have understood over time, there's hearing and then there's listening. There's hearing, like I'm hearing you,
Yeah.
versus like, okay, I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
Okay, and listening provokes that thought to what you're saying. Like, okay, he's being like it's Tico, he's being vulnerable. Like, oh my gosh, he trusts me with this. Like, oh my god, like there's a lot behind that, but it goes back to what Ross said. That's not possible if there isn't a level of development that has already happened for them.
Yes.
So it's a very, dare I say, slippery slope. And that's why it's so important for you to have your guys. Like, you have to have your guys where it's like, yo, man, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. And I say this not to put anything down about anybody, but I think this has more to do with once you have a level of ambition. Because if you're going to go complain about the woman that you're with to your man them, like, yo, complaining about her ain't going to do nothing.
The word.
It's different if you're like, yo, man, I'm up against the wall right now with this business deal, or this is happening. Yo, I made a move here. This might be a little bit, yo, the stress is on me, this and this, whatever. That's different.
Yeah.
I say this all based on a level of ambition because, let's be transparent, we all know guys from either high school or maybe even post-secondary that you'll see them today and you saw them 5 years ago and it's like they've just in a circle. Like they really haven't made a move.
Anywhere.
They haven't made a move at all. Like there's been, the progression has been limited or nil. So that's not what I'm talking about. Because remember when we were younger and we'd go watch them man, they go play soccer and they'd be talking about this, that, and the third. And after a while, it's when I pennied it, I was like, yo, these men are talking about the same thing over and over. And I'm like, yo, man, this is insanity. Yo, facts. This is insanity. Like I can't deal with that.
I
I can't deal with that. So
There's no leveling up. in that regard. And
No.
it comes same thing with that partner. I can't say it's just the woman's side. I know for some men too, they don't know how to level up to be able to be there for that queen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it all boils down to the unpacking of where you are in the space that you are. And man, you know, we talked about childhood and growing up, and I think some of it may come back from that time period of their life when they were either coddled too much or given free range too much, and they don't know, hey, yo, take a stop. Check yourself first. It ain't, if you gone through the same thing once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, it ain't the other people, bro.
It's you.
Man or woman. It ain't the other person. It's yourself. And so you got to find that. You got to find that.
You got to reach in and be like, yo, okay.
You know what I mean? You got to find yourself back to you.
Something has to give. And it's interesting. Like, do you guys listen to any of the Reddits? Do you do a lot of Reddit listens or anything like that?
Just the horror stories.
Horror stories? I don't even touch the horror stories. Funny enough, I'm on malicious compliance or pro revenge, or am I the asshole? So like,
I heard some.
So there's one that I listened to today that in my head I was like, yo, this guy, I didn't want to say it. I kept saying like, yo, no way is this guy being, I guess the term is simp. There's no way this guy is being a simp, or there's no way this guy is being a waste man. But the more I listened, I'm like, yo, this guy is a waste man. Because he just kept allowing his girl, his woman, who's now his fiance, just to walk over him and like, bruh, I know this right now. If I'm in a relationship with a woman and every time we get into an argument, her first solution is to leave, after a while, she don't need to come back.
Yeah.
And that was this guy's situation over and over. Once they get into an argument, she picks up and leaves.
Yeah.
And this guy's always like, oh, tell me where you are. I just want to know that you're safe and this and that. And I'm like, bro, in my head, I'm like, I appreciate the compassion you're showing to this woman. But like, you use the word coddle. What are you doing? Like, what is happening here? And he went on to talk about, she kept testing him, which I think for any of us here, like, I hate getting tested and like, oh, you did well, or oh, you didn't do us. Like, yo, why are you testing me?
Yeah.
Because this is something that we will probably have a conversation about all the time. And I feel it's the most powerful tool that as men and women we have, but I don't think we realize how powerful it is our communication skills.
Yeah. True.
Like being able to, I say this carefully, but if you have to rough up your woman sometimes, especially if she's giving you an unwarranted attitude. If she gives you unwarranted attitude, catch it quick.
Clarify rough up just for the viewers. Because Diddy's out here roughing a woman the next type of way. So just make sure you clarify it. We're not talking about, ladies and gentlemen, we're not talking about Cassie.
Stern talking to.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I was waiting for him to finish his point to be like, let's define the word rough up for some listeners or viewers out there. We do not condone.
No violence.
Yes.
No violence, but just making
we
sure
are Simba at the moment. Don't condone 1 and 2.
Yeah, exactly. None of those things. So thank you for that. No physical anything, but just if there's a hint of attitude that is unwarranted,
step on it, meet the Grams and Family Matters.
Catch that tone
Step right on it. Be like, hey, hold up.
Catch that tone right there. And it's funny because it was brought to my attention that when, as men, we do that. Funny enough, our ladies, if they're kind of a fan, it's the weirdest. Like, I don't get it, but it's like, hold on. So I catch you up, or rough you up in quotations.
Catch you up is the better word.
I catch you up, and it's like, yo, don't talk to me like that. What do you think this is? For them, it's like, okay, all right. He's being what I think is missing a lot right now.
Yeah.
Which is masculine. Like,
he's being a
man. Because our age ranges are not far off. Like, we're all in our 30s here.
Yeah.
And we all understand. We've all had our respective experiences throughout life and different things like that.
Yeah.
And, we try our best, or I would like to believe we try our best to grow from it.
Right. True.
And that's something that I caught on to real quick, where it's like, I'm not going to allow you to talk to me like that. That is because I remember my pastor asking me years ago, he's like, which one would you prefer, love or respect? And I took a very short period of time. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'll take respect real quick.
Yeah.
I'll take respect real quick, because if you respect me, you're going to love me.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's one of those things where you would think, but if they love you, they'll respect you. You're right. But for men, respect is...
that's a catch-22, man. I think that's
What's
like
your
what comes
perspective?
first. Like, that's like what comes first, chicken or the egg
Okay.
kind of situation. I feel like, all right, like...
Can an egg lay a chicken, or can a chicken lay an egg?
And whatever happens first has to happen first. Because can you love somebody without respecting them?
But see, bruh.
But can you respect somebody without loving them? That's possible.
Can you what? Respect someone without loving them?
Because you respect your boss, but you don't love them.
Yeah, but this is relationship
Yeah,
we're talking about.
in-
This is not
so-
But I'm saying respect can exist without love.
right. I agree.
Right. Yes.
But
And
within a relationship, it is a situation of, if you show me respect, then I know that you love me.
so here's another question: does love exist without respect?
Oh, but
Right.
you can respect from fear though. So the people who fear you, they don't necessarily love you.
Okay.
You can
okay.
fear me and
I see
respect
where you're
me.
getting. I see where you're getting.
But is this it from a relational point of view, like you and your spouse, or you and just somebody out there in the streets?
Okay, so even in a relationship, a healthy level of fear, I think, is present. Because don't you fear if you cheat? You fear your wife leaving you.
Yeah, there's
There's
always
that
always-
fear. So there's a healthy level of fear. It's not the most prevalent thing, I guess, but it's there,
Yeah. Okay.
right? So I feel like, I think any dynamic of respect, I guess that like level of fear has to be existent, right? Because there has to be a consequence in order for you to respect someone or something, right?
Right.
There has to be like a consequence. I could be wrong. There might be people who love everything, and just because they love it, they respect it. But I feel like for the masses, I feel like there has to be a level of, most people are not breaking laws just because they're good people. Most motherfuckers are not breaking laws because they're scared to go to jail.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying?
They're doing it.
Like,
There's
like,
a
you know
lot-
many
there's a lot
times,
more behind it.
facts.
Yeah.
You know many times get hard for me, and I'm like, yo, I could go around my back right now. I'm trying to go to jail right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Listen,
this is real shit.
I'm not gonna lie to you. With what happens sometimes in life, and when you have certain conversations with your spouse, and you're like,
Yeah.
what? This amount of money is needing to roll through my account right now?
Yeah,
Jeez, Louise, like the drug game sounds
good.
appealing right now.
Facts. Yeah,
It sounds appealing, but then I have to be realistic, and it's gonna be taken in humor, which I intended. But I'm too sweet to go to jail, man. I'm too sweet, man. I couldn't do it. Like man. No, man.
not forte.
Not, bruh. Can't
Not
do it.
my kick.
Can't do it. Not my kick. None of that. Can't deal with that. Can't do that.
Oh man.
Not about that at
No, I feel that.
all.
Right?
So that's
like,
why, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So like, it's not necessarily that like you just love the law so much. You're a little bit afraid. You're like, fuck, I don't want to go to jail. Like, I don't want to, so it's like, I think the same thing in relationships. There has to be that healthy level of fear. Even with your kids, they have to have a healthy amount of fear
Yeah.
of you. My mom used to drive a red Dodge Shadow, and boy, that car used to strike fear in my heart. Yo, I swear to you, I can tell you exactly what car it was.
I know the
Bro,
Shadow.
you know the Shadow.
I know the Shadow.
Yo, bro, if I ever seen that red Dodge Shadow in my school parking lot,
Problems.
bro, shook,
No, trust me.
shook. I was like, yo, yeah, man. So there's a healthy level of fear there for sure,
Yeah,
whereas
yeah.
like, my mom, she struck that in me, and like, I think in relationships with your woman, whatever, we all need to kind of have a healthy level of fear where it's like, yo, this person will leave me.
It's
this
a
person.
potential. It's a
It's a
potential.
potential. It's there,
like,
right? It's there.
It's there, but it's not like the
It's not prominent.
Yeah,
No, it's not prominent. It
It's
can't
not
be
a
prominent.
prominent thought.
Right.
But then it does go back. Like, I think that could almost be like a segment in itself. And I'd love to like get a female perspective when it comes to the concept of unpacking.
Facts.
Because how many times as men will say to our significant other, our girlfriend, whoever it was, like, yo, girl, oh my God, like, you're looking so good, or you did such a great job, or you're so amazing. And it's like, that was so, like, you were being so genuine, but yet still it wasn't received at all. It was almost like, what are you trying to, like, what?
No.
Like,
It's
what are you
like,
trying to, no, I'm just saying that for them, you're giving them the most genuine compliment because you see the potential that's within them. And you see it coming out, but it's almost like they're not accepting of it. Or they're not realizing, like, yo, forgive my like tone of language, but it's like, yo, I am a bad bitch. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I know how to carry myself. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. And the part that's funny, especially in my experience, it's done in different ways. Like, I've seen individuals who at work, top of tops. And then within their family, like, just like, oh my gosh, like, is this the same person? Like, no way. Like, really? Like,
Yo, this it's like being some people are big sharks in small ponds.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And they're guppy in the ocean.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's about like, yo, you know, can you eventually be a big shark in the ocean? It's hard, bro. It's hard.
In that same reference, because I know we all like to watch animal shows, or I do at least. I always chalk it up to like, yo, I'd rather be a whale because I see them whales yamming up the sharks, boy. So it's like you want to pivot yourself to be like, yo, how can I be a big old whale? Because
I can't just be here and not fear me. Not like fearing going down that road, but you know, but you respect my presence. You see me, you know what's up.
I think that starts with you respecting it. I mean, we're gonna be diving off into another conversation, because like, I know we're talking about just like, yo, when you compliment your woman or whatever, and I know that happens on both sides, because my wife will tell you, sometimes she'll tell me, yo, babe, you look good. I'll be like, thanks. And not that I don't believe her, but it's just like, because I have my own insecurities about myself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's a good
which is
topic
funny in itself, because insecurities is
because it's to tap into it, because I myself have done the same exact thing. Oh, you look so handsome. Nah, it's all right.
You're just saying that.
Yeah, just saying that. You're meshing it up.
You're
but
just
it's
saying
like
that or this and that.
But like, I had the thought recently. It's like, yo, what are you comparing yourself to? And I was like, I don't know. Why do I say this?
Here's a word. So social media, sure.
Social media, sure.
But have you guys ever heard the concept of imposter syndrome?
Ooh.
Bro, I had the biggest case of imposter syndrome for so long that I was like, yo, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve. And yo, the part that's messed up, bro, I was working, I was working. I was working on myself. I was working on my business. I was at my night. I was working. Like, I was being consistent as consistent can be within my family. Like, I would hear it from other people, like, oh my God, you're being such a good father, you're being such a good husband. Like, oh my gosh, your business is really, you know, getting the traction that it needs. And it's like, all right, that's proper. But then I would still have that imposter syndrome of like, yo, I don't know if I deserve this, man. This is,
did you do enough?
Did I do enough? But then it had to catch me. I had to catch myself up the other day and realize, like, yo, bro, you're doing what you need to do.
You got to smell the roses.
To level up. Because that's the word. It's the level up. Like, I'm leveling up now to be like, okay, this is what I did to get here. And the reality is like, yo, this type of same attitude or this type of same dynamic will not get me to this next level.
The next level. Yes.
Especially now, like, within the three of us, in total, we have, 8 kids? The three of us, we have 8 children. It's a lot of legacy to leave. Like, that's like it in me at least. There's pressure behind that as far as like my own upbringing. Thinking back to my own father and his choices, I'm like, yo, this guy didn't make the best choices at all, and I'm reaping the unfortunate. Like, yo, I got to handle his stuff. Crap. So it's like building in reverse. It's like, yo, there's other cultures that try and set their kids up and put them in a position. And it's like, we're starting already behind
the plane. Yeah.
So it's like, how can I get better? How can I do what I need to do?
Behind the fate ball.
Jeez. Plug.
Shameless plug.
Plug. Now I gotta get t-shirts for that.
Yeah, facts,
Now I
right?
gotta get t-shirts.
Oh man.
So it's that type of thing, and then it goes back to the insecurity, you know, imposter. Like, it all ties in together, and that's why what I've been doing lately, and it's been really helpful, especially when I'm driving. If someone does something stupid, or idiot move, or some type of like, yo, I cannot believe this person's doing this. I literally just have a moment like, yo, I don't know what that person's going through. So let me just load them. Let me just load them. Let me just load them. Because we're all going through so much right now. That you don't know. Some more than others. So I just chalk it up to like, yo, all right, that person's going through something.
Yeah.
I just leave it as is. Leave it as it is. If need be, pray for them.
Yeah.
And just go from there.
That's a good perspective, man.
Yeah, that's how I have to chalk it up, because sometimes I'm like, there's no way you're not, like, something has to be happening. For your behavior to be that sour.
Yeah.
Or your attitude or whatever the case may be has to be that sour for you to be going through that. So I just chalk it up to like, yo, whatever you're going through,
That's a good perspective.
just do you.
Yeah.
And
good way to look at it.
just, I recognize at the end of the day, I'm only in control of me.
Yeah.
So because I'm only in control of me, all right, what am I doing that makes me better here? What am I doing that makes me better? What am I doing that makes me better? And go from there. Go from there.
That's a hard lesson.
Yo, I'm trying to teach my daughter that right now. That she's only in control of herself. And like, that is,
it's hard.
As I try to explain it to her, I realize how hard it is to explain.
Yeah, facts.
Because it's like, yo, like, you don't want to teach her to like only think about herself. You want to teach her to
have a balance.
Encompass and think about others.
Compassion, all that
compassion,
stuff.
empathy, and all these things.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you want to also be like, yo, like, you can't be so you can't be so invested in other people. So it's hard.
It's definitely hard. You know, I tried the same thing with my son. Like, someone had said something about him playing soccer, and I was like, at the end of the day, it's not even about you, because you've put in the work. You know, my boy, he loves soccer, and when he started, it was like just all over the place. And then we taught him some drills. You know, he went to a house league and like showed out. And I was like, at the end of the day, just look at the work you put in. Do you believe that you're what that person says? And he's like, not really. And I was like,
so there you go.
Nothing to
do with you.
Everything to do with him and what he believes in his own self.
So yo, listen, I was talking to my therapist about this, and just about not being appreciated, and like, how do you feel? Like, how do you go about that? She asked me like, what would I tell myself as a youngin'? Like, what would I tell myself, or what would I tell my kids?
Right.
I took a second to think about it, and I was like, I don't even know where the shit came from. It randomly came in my mind, and I was just like, yo, if you wait for anybody to give you your flowers, you'll never have a garden.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like,
you gotta plant your own.
You gotta plant your own. You gotta kind of know, just because it's not there, just because people don't see it, doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah, facts.
Right?
So
like, as long as you have that belief, and like, I guess once you have that belief and you understand, like, okay, I can be great.
Right.
You'll be searching for greatness. Right? Like, I'm pretty sure we all want to be great fathers. But I'm pretty sure we all have moments where we feel like, I fucked up today. I might have lost my cool today.
Stepped out.
Maybe I didn't listen today. Maybe I was scrolling on my phone too much today. When I was
didn't pay attention.
Did I listen to that conversation that we're having today, or did I just
respond? Did I just zone it out?
Exactly. But look, the fact that you even having those thoughts and having that like recollection within yourself, like, you know, people are not even thinking that. Like, they're not even there. That's not even
through the motion.
Yeah, they're just I'm doing great. or they don't care.
Emotion, they
right?
don't care.
They don't care, right? So just having that, like, and kind of being like, all right, like, it's there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you believe it's there,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it doesn't matter
Bless
if like anybody else kind of realizes it will come to fruition because you know that it's
you know
there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, just taking that in.
Ooh, we did a synchronized travel a while ago
Yeah.
that we didn't even realize, because your reply speaks to his identifying of the imposter syndrome, which, funny enough, I was doing that last weekend. Like, I was like, yo, why am I not doing this?
Yeah.
And the other part of it was like, oh, it was the fear to being exposed or being put out to be like, oh, you don't know what you know. You know what I mean? So that was a good travel. It's a good perfect moment to take a pause.
That is a very interesting dynamic.
It's a very interesting dynamic, and it's crazy. You know what I mean? Because I was the herbalist.
Yeah.
Post high school.
Yeah.
Post secondary.
Yeah. What
All
happened
that.
there?
So went to China. Fought there.
Are we recording right now?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay,
right now.
cool.
So had the fight in China. Got there. The crazy thing about the fight is, like, we were talking earlier about not complaining.
Yeah.
And that's a part of why I didn't say much that happened. Because we went on the fight. We had some great experiences. But we were out in like 36, 37 degree weather.
Ooh.
Like doing outings, going to the Forbidden City, going to the Great Wall of China.
And we're talking 36 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's hella hot.
Yeah.
Okay. Hella hot.
So, and we didn't train as much, but the kicker is, y'all know me, I don't eat meat.
Yeah.
So I thought going to China, being the guy who loved like Buddhism and all that, I was like, yo, I could find vegan spots anywhere I go because it's China.
Was that not the case?
Not the case for me.
Bro, it's like going to
Really?
Jamaica. What do you mean?
Are you
You go to
serious?
Jamaica, bro, you barely find an iPhone spot.
Are you serious?
Bro.
There are, obviously, but
They
like,
are, but I had to
not
go
like,
ways out to get it, and I was like, just shoot me some vegetables, please. Just plus I didn't know the language. So here's the thing: we ate buffet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
It was
Problem
veggie.
with buffet is,
No veggie option.
no, there is veggie options, but here's the thing: if you are unconscious that you are taking the beef spoon and putting the beef spoon into the veggie, then you're just gonna put the beef spoon in the veggie. So I didn't realize in the moment that it was happening that
That's
was
what's happening. Yeah.
and then I got sick, like food poisoning.
cross contamination.
Yes. So I was like in the back, like my roommate could tell you, I was in the bathroom like
Hurling.
non-stop hurling.
Hurling. Ooh.
So plus I was cutting weight.
Yeah.
Got into the fight. Like sidebar two, as we talk about we're being fathers, I had issues,
Yeah.
you know, in those moments,
Yeah.
like being able to see my kid before
Yeah.
I left.
Stress on top of
And
that.
The
Bruh.
first thought, shout out to my brother Blade, because he was like, bro, like, you can't do that to yourself again. You can't bring that to the ring. And I was like, bro, I bring it to the ring all the time, but that moment it didn't work in my favor.
Yeah, because you usually
'Cause
bring
I
it
saw-
for rage. You usually bring
I
it for
use
the
it
rage.
as rage.
Yeah,
I saw the big lights. I saw the moment, and I was like, yo, my kid can't even see this, bro. And I teared up.
Yeah, you gotta go with the Godfather said. You know what the Godfather said? He said, never hate your enemy. Because when you hate your enemy, it clouds your judgment. Yo, I'm telling you.
And the fight ended up with me getting knocked out, and I was concussed.
Ooh.
So, me being me, I didn't feel the concussion as way as people thought about it, because they were like listing all these things that you'd feel, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm literally good. I got up out the fight and be like, yo, and they were asking me questions after, and like, oh, they're like, oh, so what do you want to do next? I was like, nah, bring that boy back to Canada. This is literally what I said, like, bring him back. And they're like, no, you should rest. I was like, nah, I want that boy back right now. Whenever you guys decide to bring him to Canada, bring that boy to Canada.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, but you should go and rest. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
But I was in rage mode. And when I came back, I smoked. And like, I got super paranoid. Like super
paro kick in.
paranoid. And I was like, what? I can't smoke? And I kept on smoking because I'm like, yeah, nah, maybe it's just the herb, and I start using
A different
go back
one,
to
different
my
strain,
cess, you know.
different
I was
strain.
like, yo, maybe it's a strain. Can't do this stupid government thing. I gotta do the old school stuff,
Yeah.
naturals thing. Same thing, pyro. Like smoke too much, I'm out. Like I want to stay home. I want to go nowhere else. I go outside, I'm like, ooh, I can't. And I was like, all right.
You all know what the funny thing is? That same shit happened to me, bro.
Yeah, so weird.
Yeah, bro. Like, I had, so, I don't know if you can see, like, on my forehead, that the camera can't see it, but, like,
There's a
on my
scar.
forehead, I got stitches right here.
Yeah.
So, I got some real, like, head damage. Yeah, and, like, after that, bro, like, I realized that smoking was different for me at that point. Like, it was different. Like, yo, it was, like, I was a little bit, like you said, like a little bit more paranoid. Stay at home. I remember took a break, and I went back, and I took a break, and I went back, and then eventually, like I kind of got obsessed with mastering it. I wanted to master how I felt because I didn't like the fact that I felt that way on it. I was like, yo, like I don't like, yo. I was an herbalist, bro. Like I used to smoke all the time. Like, yo, there's no way I can feel like this off of this now. So I used to just be like, all right, like, yo, I gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
So
did you do like the 2 totes, the 3 totes, the 4 totes?
yo, you wanna know the thing is no, like I would smoke and I would meditate.
Oh,
So I would smoke and then I would meditate heavily. I would read, kind of like direct my mind in a certain way,
right.
that I wanted it to be,
Yeah.
opposed to it. And then I started like outside of like being high, I started realizing, like your thoughts are not you. You know what I'm saying? So like I wouldn't dive too deep. I could almost like withdraw myself from those high thoughts, like some of the high thoughts I was having that weren't me. So it's like when I'd get paranoid, I was like, there you go again. You're being paranoid, and I could watch it from like a
distance.
like a distance.
Like you're seeing someone else.
Yeah,
Yes,
and I would be like,
yes,
okay,
yes.
and then it would just dissipate, and I
Yeah.
would be fine. And that's how I am now. When I smoke now, it's like, yeah, like those things still come, but even with just everyday life,
Yeah.
like, yo, like I get anxious or certain things happen, and like I can kind of like move myself away from that moment, like I'm back, like yo, like when I'm hooping, right? Like I don't know, like I thought I was the only one, but I started realizing people feel like this. Like I hoop in leagues, right? So like anytime before a game, like if I play pickup basketball, I'm confident. I'm doing all this stuff. But when I play in a league, it's just the league just makes me like start overthinking.
Stomachs are nuts.
Yeah, get nuts and all these things.
Until that first bucket. For me.
Yeah, till I see the ball go in the hoop a couple times, you know, till you know whatever, or if I get really really like passionate about the game, then I like kind of lose that thought, and then eventually like I just started like, especially recently, I started like being able to be like, oh, there you go, whatever but you love the game. I was able to like really like detach myself from that like thought process.
Yeah.
Right.
And then now like I just play where it's like, okay, just play the game, you know. So it's like now I'm like in the game. And I'm not worried about what everybody else is thinking. I'm not worried about who this guy is in front of me. I'm not worried about none of that. I'm just kind of just trying to do me. I'm just looking for the bright passes. I'm looking, can I get to the lane? Okay, like once I'm here, oh, he's cutting me off. All right, pull it back to the, you know, like get to my spot, shoot, or oh, there's a guy coming. You know what I'm saying? So
whatever
make the
decision
pass,
is.
whatever decision is, and I realize that they're happening faster because I'm so locked into the moment, right?
Yeah.
So like,
I feel that.
just being able to detach yourself from that thought process, because all in your mind, right?
Yeah, it's true, and it's there was that moment where I was meditating too, and it was like, that's not you.
Yeah.
And then the one day I was like walking, and I was like, yo, but at the end of the day, it's a part of you. Because if you're having the experience, it's still attached to you no matter what. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just stop smoking.
Wow.
Because at the end of it, I want to be the wholesome version of me.
Yeah.
And to be that, I got to go into these feelings without having any influence outside. No THC, no mushrooms, no nothing. You need to find it by yourself. And started meditating a little bit more than I used to, because I'm like, all right, if I ain't gonna smoke, I don't have to substitute that bad boy with something else. So meditation is like the kick. And I was like, yeah, that's how we gotta do it. You know what I mean? Because you gotta tap into that you. The same thing of being in that ring, because at the end of the day, when you're in there, it's you.
It's you, yeah.
You know what I mean? The evidence of your training camp, the evidence of whatever you did leading up to this fight or this moment, it's gonna show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you
So,
really been doing what
you're really been doing what you're supposed to doing.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I agree with that, man. I agree with that. Well, this has been definitely blessed. This has been blessed.
This has been
I am greatly appreciative to you guys, and I look forward to more sharing of perspective, sharing of thoughts, and having questions and answers given, especially for outside perspective.
Right.
Like, we're gonna give perspectives of outside where it's like, hey, here's a situation. What's your perspective on it?
Oh, for sure.
Because I've learned so much and had such a level of appreciation for what has been happening in my life when I see or get information about what is happening out there, like whether it be with relationship, whether it be with work, whether it be with even your parents, like just all of these things. There's value to be had in some way, shape, or form. So definitely appreciate you guys. Definitely look forward to when we can do this again, and definitely playing it all into like us coming together like this. We're having this come together for for the purpose. Like, what's the purpose, right?
Yeah. What's the purpose?
Because we definitely want to know that we can be dads unscripted, we can be fathers unscripted, just talk about different things that's going on with us, and know that the support is there, but also to be a support for others.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that are going through interesting times. Other men who may not have a support or an outlet to say, hey, this is what's happening to me here. Listen to you guys, appreciate what you guys are sharing, and we'll go from there. So definitely appreciate you guys, man. Definitely appreciate.
That's definitely, because we ask ourselves, what is the purpose? And the purpose is just to be ourselves, create that space for anybody who wants to even sit with us and be like, all right, here's my story.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you feel?
Yeah.
What do you hear? And
is there value?
Is there value?
Yeah, exactly.
And there's always, listen, man, there's value in every single thing that
someone can teach you something.
Yeah,
every single person can
Yep.
teach you something.
Even a bum on the street.
Even the bum on the street.
Drunk on the street, a bum on the street, whoever. Like, if you feel like they can't teach you nothing, bro, you're
already behind.
You're already behind.
You're already behind.
Yo, actually, before we end up, I wanted to say this. One time I was at Woodbine Beach.
Yeah.
And there was a dude collecting cans and shit, like just on the floor or whatever. And I said something to him. Like, I don't even remember what I said, but I remember what he said to me. And he's like, necessity is the father of invention.
Yeah?
Yeah, bro. And that shit like stuck with me, and I was just like, bro, like this guy's like he's collecting cans on the road. He's like, necessity is the father of invention. And I was just like, bro, from that day forward, whenever I hear like sometimes like a drunk person or a homeless person might say some shit to me, I'll listen. Obviously, sometimes you have like you always have people who's just saying mere foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever to you, right?
Out of their ass.
Yeah, bro. Like, but it could be anywhere. It could even be your boss could be saying the most foolishness you're listening to me. And it's like, yo, what is man I talk about? But yo, like,
as the saying goes, you have to pick sense out of nonsense.
Yo, facts. Because there's sense there.
There's sense there, but you got to pick it out.
You have to pick it out. Trust me.
That story is definitely one of those where you may not be paying attention, but something else in you is paying attention to it, and you know it struck a chord, and that's what we're here for, like striking chords, giving you what you need, but not knowing that you need it in the moment. And I hope that it's, for me, I hope that my kids can listen to this when they grow up and then be like, yo, okay,
real talks.
I can pick sense out of nonsense, you know what I mean?
My dad's not as weird as I thought he was. Because that's what's happening. Like,
so true.
Our kids idolize us right now because they're young, but I already know it's gonna come a time when they're gonna be like, who is this guy think he is? And then it's gonna come full circle where it's like, oh my God, Daddy, you're the best. Because right now that's what I get. I get, Daddy, you're so smart. Oh my gosh, Daddy, da 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 da. And I'm like, hey, I appreciate that. But I have to keep it level because I'm like, I hear other parents talk about their older kids and they're like, yeah, they're gonna probably hate you.
Bro, I personally feel I never been there yet. My kid is she's 9. But I feel like if you grow with your kid, I feel like there's a difference. I feel like you might be able to find a difference because I see a lot of people who have kids, bro. And that relationship doesn't ever wane, bro. Like they always stay locked in, like because they're growing with their kid. And it's usually the parents who act young. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you have to act young, but it's like you still have that youth in you. You know what I'm saying? You still have that youth in you. You're not afraid to listen to the music and try to understand what they're listening to, or like, you know, or whatever, they dress a certain way, and maybe you might take interest. I'm not saying you're trying to dress fully like a 17-year-old youth and you're 50 something, 50 odd years old, you know, 40 odd years old. But yo, you know, you might see a shoe that they wear that you're like, that's proper. Or you know, the jean style that they're wearing or the shirt that they're wearing, like, yeah, that's proper. You might indulge because you can see something, a fashion sense or whatever in it, and relate to it. You know, because all this shit does is just recycle itself. But I feel like what a lot of people do, they cut themselves off. They cut that umbilical cord.
True.
To the younger generation, and that's why a lot of their kids don't like them anymore. Like, there's that gap because they become too much of a drill sergeant, right? And you do need to be a drill sergeant because you do need to like impart certain things on your kids, regardless if they like it or not.
True.
You know, because like shit that our parents told us, we didn't like it, but like they told us and they did certain things and it saved our lives.
Facts.
You know, let's keep it a being like, yo, like they saved our lives. And it's like we need to do the same things our kids may not like it, but we're saving their lives. That's what we're there for. I don't give a shit if you don't like me, but like, yo, I need us, you know. But at the same time, like, I also do want us and people out there to grow with their kids. You know what I'm saying? Not to just cut them off and like, yo, you're a kid, you can't. Yo, you're a kid. You don't know nothing. You're whatever. Like, what is this boom bap shit you're listening to? And
I think the whole parenting aspect is like our kids are younger than some of our other friends and families' kids. So like I think now is the time where we parent. And as they grow into adolescence and teenage years, then the wisdom, the knowledge, the structure that we have given these young ones, we can only hope that they may just take it with a grain of salt. But we can just hope that maybe some of the good things that we have passed down to them, that they have taken it, and some of the bad things, they go, all right, let me kick that to the curb because that's don't work in this generation right now.
I get that.
And then they grow into the adult that we hope for them. You know, we just, like for me, I can only speak for me. I just want my boys to be the best version of themselves.
Facts.
I don't care. Like I tell my oldest all the time, I was like, bro, you ain't got to do this to impress me. You do this for you.
You do this for you. Exactly.
If you want it, I want it for you.
I'm gonna love you regardless.
If you're doing it to nah, bro, don't do that to please me.
Reason.
That's not the reason.
R.I.P. Kobe Bean Bryant. He said, yo, he was getting his ass kicked in basketball for a while. And when his dad said, "Yo, I'm gonna love you regardless,"
Yeah.
that's when he started kicking ass.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
So it's
yep,
like,
yep.
yo, like that's what you gotta impart on.
Yep.
To be like, yo, regardless of whatever it is that you do,
Mm-hmm.
I am here and I
With
love you.
and support. Yeah.
Yo, with support, I got your back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
So for
Yeah.
sure.
facts.
Well, thank you guys for listening to our podcast.
Yes.
What's
sir.
the purpose?
What's the purpose?
What's the purpose?
Dad's unscripted. Father's
We're
unscripted.
Dad's unscripted.
Facts.
We're fathers unscripted. And yeah, let us know. Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone have a good
blessed
evening.
day.
Have a blessed
Smash
day.
that like button. I always want to say that.
Talk less.
Yeah.
And
For the uninitiated, pre means think. For the uninitiated,
Yes.
pre means think.
Or
pre
look hard.
more
Look
talk
hard.
less. Our
Yeah.
look hard. Pause.
Hey.
Look good.
Five.
Look good. Shot less. Yes,
Yo,
it.
facts.
You know what I mean?
All right, respect.
You already
Alright,
know,
so
yo. Yes, sir.